Hello everyone, my name is Brian and I am a part-time reseller on Poshmark, and I also do a little bit on eBay and Mercari. Today I have another episode for you of what sold recently on Poshmark. So thank you guys so much for coming back to my channel, and if you're new here, I would really appreciate if you would hit the subscribe button if you want to see more videos like this. I do a lot of thrifting videos, hauls, retail arbitrage, and what sold on Poshmark, as well as tips and tricks for maximizing sales and profits. Today I'm going to be sharing with you 21 of my recent sales from Poshmark. So I'm going to be sharing with you details about the item. I'll put a picture up here of what the item was, and then I'm going to share with you how much it sold for, and I'm also going to share with you where I got it and how much I paid. A lot of YouTubers out there won't share how much they paid for an item, which I think is a little bit silly because it's no secret that we're out here getting items for cheaper and marking them up to make profit. I think a lot of them are scared that potential buyers who are viewers will get scared off, but if you ask me, it's no secret that we're all out here trying to make a profit and make a flip. So I want to be as transparent with you guys as possible about where I'm getting things and also how much I'm paying, so that you can be empowered to go out there and make the best decisions for your business. So I just got done filming this video and I looked at it on my camera and realized that I was incredibly out of focus the whole time because there was this shirt hanging behind me and didn't really think about it, but the camera wanted to focus on that the whole time, but there's no way I'm filming that whole thing. So please just take the information and take it for what it is, and yeah, I'll do better next time. The first item that sold recently is this Forever 21 bow wrap fit and flare dress, and it was new with tags. So I got this one actually from Forever 21, and I believe I paid about $5 for it. Often Forever 21 will do clearance sales where everything on clearance is either buy one get one free, or all clearance is 50% off. So I picked these up during one of those sales, and the reason I did is actually because I am a photographer, and so often I'll do styled shoots with models just for fun, where I'll pick out outfits and do kind of a styled look. And this is one that I had gotten for one of those, but I didn't actually end up using. And Forever 21 is not a usual place where I would do retail arbitrage. If you don't know what retail arbitrage is, it's where you're basically hunting for items that are marked down low where you can flip online for a profit. I have a couple videos that I'll link down below of some places that you can do retail arbitrage, such as Kohl's, Ross, TJ Maxx. Be sure to check those out if you want some ideas. But Forever 21 is not a place I would normally do retail arbitrage just because the resale value is not great. I ended up selling this dress for, it looks like $13, and my earnings were $10.05. I got a really nice love note from the buyer that said it's super cute and comfy and came really fast too. So I was happy to send that along to a new home. This next item is another item that I had bought for a photo shoot and didn't end up using. It was this ASOS red sheer mesh ruffle front and sleeve top. So it had these cool ruffles on the chest and on the sleeve, and it was a cool sheer mesh, and it was actually a super long fit, but as you can see here, the model is wearing it tucked in, and this was super trendy and it would have been really cool for a photo shoot, but never ended up finding the right model for that and decided just to move it along. And it sold for $10, which earned me $7.05, and I think that's about how much I paid for it. So I basically just made my money back on that one. Next was this Fashion Nova red short sleeve bowling shirt, new with tags, and on the back it had a really cool embroidery that said Perfect Paradise with a palm tree. This item was actually for another one of those photo shoots, and that I never ended up using. There was a while where I was stocking up on stuff, and then I haven't been doing as much photography lately, so I decided to kind of just move a lot of that old stuff along so I can get new stuff and just make room in my closet. And this one I sold for $14, which earned me $11.05, and again, I think that's about what I paid for it, so it was another one where I was just making my money back. If you don't know what Fashion Nova is, it is a fast fashion online retailer, and they're similar to stores like Forever 21 or Zara, but they have really trendy items, and they have a men's line, and everything's kind of about the sex appeal. And an interesting fact about them is they were actually the most Googled fashion company in the US last year. So they are pretty hot, but their stuff doesn't have a huge resale value, so I wouldn't necessarily recommend buying their stuff unless you can get it super cheap at like the bins or something like that. Okay, the next item was this vintage 90s Woolrich 100% wool Fair Isle sweaters. Fair Isle is the kind of print that you see on here, and I picked this up at the bins, the Goodwill Outlet, so everything was paid by the pound. I probably paid about $1.50 for this. It was actually a super quick flip. So the buyer left me a nice 5-star rating. This item sold for $45, which earned me $36. And it was a size medium. Woolrich is a brand that makes a lot of sweaters like this, a lot of wool coats, and they're just known for their great quality. So if you can find it on the cheap, pick it up. Not all of the items will sell as well, but if you find something that's unique or in really good condition and you can pick it up cheap, then I would definitely recommend getting that. The next item was this Everlane charcoal gray wool crewneck sweater. Everlane is a brand based in the United States, I believe, and there are so many brands out there that are all about the fast fashion and not on quality, and Everlane is a brand that is pretty much the opposite. They don't have a huge wide range of selection, but all the pieces they make are going to be very well constructed with great quality. They're actually very popular right now, so if you can find an Everlane item, I would definitely recommend picking it up. Items like t-shirts are not going to be a super good return, but if you can find their sweaters or coats, then those are going to be worth paying a little bit more for. And this one I actually got from the Goodwill Outlet too. It only cost me about $1, maybe $2, and I sold it for $40. It got a ton of likes super fast, and that earned me $32. It was a size medium. The next item was this Hollister tie-dye stripe detail long sleeve tee. So Hollister is not a brand that I would normally pick up, or probably that I will pick up going forward, but I got this from a thrift store that is like a little charity. It's owned by a church actually, so they have really good deals. Every week they do a clearance color tag sale where it goes 50% off, and then after, if those items don't sell, they put it on a 50-cent rack. So I was able to pick this shirt up for 50 cents. It had some pilling, but I was able to take a sweater shaver to that and sold it for $10, which earned me $7.05. I wouldn't necessarily pick this item up again because it's kind of a lot of effort just for $7, but turning 50 cents into $7 is not too bad. The next item was this Madewell brown and black gingham print wool and alpaca blend sweater. So Madewell, I'm sure most of you know, is a sister company to J. Crew. They are known for their quality, and they are just a little bit trendier and younger style than J. Crew, and it's definitely a brand to be on the lookout for, especially if you can find their denim or sweaters or coats or purses. The tops are not moving as well for me, but this one moved really fast, and I only sold it for $26, which made me $20.80. So I thought I was going to be able to sell it a little bit quicker, considering that it was in such good condition, but it was a couple years old. One tip for Madewell and J. Crew is that on the little inside care tag on the side, on the inside, they have the date. So it'll say like SP15, that stands for spring 2015, or like, I think it says like WI17, that's going to be winter 2017. So you're going to want to try to pick up items that are from the last couple years. I believe this one was from 2016 or 2015, but it was still got a lot of attention, and I was able to make an okay profit on that. The next item was this Brandy Melville ribbed crop length sweater top. I picked this one up at Value Village, some places that's called Savers, and I think I got this on one of their 50% off days. So if you're going to be shopping at Value Village or in Savers, they tend to mark up things quite a bit, but on holidays like Memorial Day, or a lot of times like after New Year's, or like on New Year's Day or the day after Christmas, they're going to have 50% off sales, or even on like Martin Luther King Jr. Day. So if you sign up for the rewards program, be sure to give them your email and they'll send you emails about when they have these 50% off days. Those are pretty much the only days I'll go shopping at these stores. And I picked this one up for $1.50. It was marked $2.99, and I sold it for $15, which earned me $12. And Brandy Melville is a brand, I believe, based in California. All their stuff is going to not have a size tag, which kind of confused me at first. I knew what it was from Instagram because they have a really strong social media presence. They have a really cool aesthetic and good branding. But one thing I don't really like is that they tend to only feature white models, not much diversity, and it's also kind of weird that most of their stuff is one size fits most or one size fits all, which, as you guys know, there's not really such a thing as that, and that's the reason you're not going to find a size tag in these. So it is pretty trendy though, so I'm going to still continue to pick up this brand if I find it, and it is kind of a quick flip. Their stuff doesn't retail for a whole lot. It retails probably between $20 and $50 for like tops and sweaters. If you can get it cheap from like the bins or on clearance, then I would definitely recommend picking it up. The next item is this, I'm gonna totally butcher this name. It's Black by Como de Garcon, and it was a polka dot button-up shirt, and it was a men's shirt. So it was size medium. This brand, which also is referred to a lot of times by CDG, they're actually a really high-end designer based out of Japan, and they also have offices in Paris, and they have many diffusion lines. So they have their main CDG line, and then they have a ton of different, like, you probably have seen the one, I think it's called like Love CDG or something like that, but it's the one that has a little heart, a little red heart on their t-shirts, and they also did the collaboration with Converse that has a little red heart with a smiley face in it. That's going to be their most common line, but that's one of their cheaper lines. And this Black by CDG is one of their cheaper lines as well, that was created during the recession, I believe around 2012. And they had pop-up stores in big cities like New York, and I think they still have one of the Black stores in Japan, and it basically offered their products at a more accessible price point. Still very expensive. I think this shirt probably retailed around $300. I got it from Value Village, and I got it from one of those racks that they're just putting out on the floor. So that's a little tip for you if you go to the stores like Savers or Goodwill. Look for the racks that they're about to put out on the floor. A lot of times they'll just roll them out there, and then the employees will be working on them throughout the day. And I saw this and I looked at the label, and I was really excited because whoever was pricing it must have not known what the brand was, must have not recognized it, and it was marked for only $2.99. And I sold it for $37, which earned me $29.60. It wasn't listed for very long before it sold. I got into kind of a counteroffer war with someone, and we were going back and forth. I had it listed closer to, I think, $80. They kept lowballing me, and finally we settled somewhere in the middle. I know that if I would have held on to this one for longer, that I could have gotten more, because this brand has a lot of cult followers, and it's definitely worth more than that, but I just figured it was good to just get rid of it and move it along to someone who really wanted it. The next item was a pair of Hudson Collett blue skinny mid-rise jeans. I got this pair from the Goodwill Outlet in downtown Seattle. I live closer to the Everett outlet, which is about 40 minutes north of Seattle. The Everett one's only about 15 or 20 minutes away from me, but I was dropping my boyfriend at the airport in Seattle one day, so on my way back I decided I'd stop at the Seattle bins. And a lot of people don't pick up these sort of designer jeans that were like brands that were cooler, probably like in the mid 2010s, but I still pick them up. The way I think about it is that people know these brands, and people that have been wearing these brands for years, if they have a pair of jeans that they've been wearing for a long time and they wear out, then they might come to places like Poshmark to find those same jeans. And these sold super fast, and they sold for $31, which earned me $24.80. And considering that I only paid like $1 for them, that is a good profit. The next item was also from the bins, but it was from the Everett bins, and it's this Michael Kors black hooded leather moto jacket. It had a little bit of wear around the sleeves, just like some scuff marks, and it had some threads that were kind of hanging loose, but I was able to cut those off and kind of clean it up and make it very presentable. When I was at the bins, I was sorting through my cart at the end, and so one tip for the bins is grab anything that looks interesting. At the end, sort through your cart and make sure that nothing's damaged, and maybe do a little research and check comps to see if it's really worth picking up. You don't want to lose out on not getting it just because you didn't grab it. When you go back later, everything's going to be so messy and things move so fast there. There's so many people grabbing things that the odds are that same item is not going to be there. So I was sorting through my cart at the end, and I saw a couple women standing there holding this jacket, and they were debating whether they should get it, and one of them said, "Don't get it." So as soon as they threw it back, I snatched it up, saw it was Michael Kors, which isn't my favorite brand and isn't the highest end brand, but people tend to like it. I don't necessarily think of it as like real good luxury, but there are some cult followers of this brand out there. And it was a size large, and I sold it for $98, which earned me $78.40. I probably paid about $3 for it, and I actually sold it once before, but the next morning I got an email from Poshmark saying that there was a payment issue from the buyer and that I was going to have to relist the item, and so I did, and it sold not long after. Michael Kors leather jackets retail I think are about $500, so $100 for this was actually a good buy for the buyer. And they left me 5-star rating saying thank you and speedy shipping. Okay, the next item was this Bravado Rolling Stones Acid Bleach Wash t-shirt. And this is a men's band tee, and it was a size XL, and I picked this up at a regular Goodwill. I don't go there too often, but I just happened to be near one, so decided to go, and I think I paid about $4 for this one. And the thing about men's t-shirts is I usually list them in the women's category, and then in the description I'll say men's unisex, size extra large, but could fit smaller sizes as an oversized look. I love these kind of tees, especially going into spring and summer. They look super cute paired with like denim shorts for kind of like a festival season look. And I really love selling band tees because people who are fans of bands will be looking online for these types of band merch, and yeah. So they usually sell pretty well. This only sold for $16, which earned me $12.80. That's still like a 3 times profit, so not bad, and it sold pretty quick, so I'm not too mad about that. Okay, the next item was this pair of a Gold E Riley high-rise straight crop denim jeans, and these were new with tags, and I picked them up at the bins. I had never actually heard of this brand when I picked them up, but I saw them sitting in the bins, and I could tell that they were good quality based on the sturdiness and construction of them. They didn't have a lot of stretch to them, so then when I looked them up, I actually found out that this is a brand that's carried at like places like Revolve and Shopbop. The retail on these is over $200. So I had listed them, I believe, around $150, and I got an offer for $129. So I definitely was quick to accept that, and my earnings were $103, and that's a great markup considering that I paid about $2 for these jeans. I was super happy about that, and the buyer left a love note saying quick shipping and jeans were in perfect condition. Next was actually a bundle, and it was 2 sweaters that I got at one of those 50% off sales at Value Village, and I saw them on the rack and I knew immediately that I had to have them. They're actually vintage from the 1980s, and the brand is called Maybells. I've never seen it anywhere before. There's not a lot about it on the internet, and these are actually very rare items. So I marked them very high. I had them marked for $64 and $72. And then the buyer made me an offer on the bundle. I'm not exactly sure how much she offered, but my earnings were $56.80, which I paid, I think, $2.99, or I think I paid $2.50 for each of these. So turning $5 into $56 is great for me, and yeah, the lady who ordered them definitely looked like she's like some sort of art teacher or something like that. She definitely gave me those vibes, and I think that she's really gonna like these because she gave me 5 stars. Next was another item that I bought at a retail store for a photo shoot, and I bought this dress from H&M, and I paid, I think, $20 for it, and it was for a photo shoot. Never ended up using it, but it sold for only $10, which earned me $7.05. It was a size 2, and definitely didn't, I lost money on that, but I was just happy to move it along, and I can reinvest that money back into new, fresh inventory. Next was this Zara snake print drop waist ruffle peplum top, and it was new without tags. I bought this from a sample sale of a clothing brand that I used to work at. Some of you have probably heard me say that in some of my other videos, but I worked for a clothing brand, and periodically they would do sample sales where at the end of the sample sale I could buy anything for around $5. And the reason that the brand is Zara is because the brand I worked for would buy items from retail stores, and they would either basically directly copy them, or they would take inspiration from them and take certain elements and then put their own twist on them, which is very common practice in the industry. It seems like stealing, but it's a lot more common than you would think. It's very hard to come up with original ideas nowadays, so a lot of the things you see at the store are probably copies from another store. This sold for $13, which earned me $10.05, so I just about doubled my money, and it was listed for, I think, a little over a month, and yeah, I was just happy to get rid of it. Next was an item that was actually from my personal closet that I had worn many times, and it was from Forever 21. It was this gold crushed velvet curved hem tee, and I wore I wore the crap out of this, basically. As you guys know, Forever 21 is very hit or miss with the quality. Some things will fall apart after 2 uses, and some things will last for a long time. This is one of those things that was pretty well made and lasted through a lot of washes and wears. And I think I bought this on sale for around $5, and I sold it for $11, which earned me $8.05. Considering how much wear I got out of this, I think that earning $8 back is pretty good, and I can just put that money back into new inventory. Next was another item that was from my personal closet that no longer fit me. I bought this when I was much smaller, and it was this men's slim fit vegan leather moto jacket, and it sold for $13, and the buyer actually commented on it asking if I would lower the price during closet clear out so that we could take advantage of the discounted shipping, and I did that, and she left me a 5-star rating with a love note saying that it was a gift and she was super happy with the purchase. I had only worn it probably 5 times, so the condition was great, and yeah, she was happy. The next item was this Free People, it's called the Ottoman sweater, and it was a slouch rib knit tunic sweater. And Free People is a brand that some of the items are very common and end up at places like TJ Maxx even, and then some of them are more rare and more valuable, and will sell for a lot more. And this was one of the items that is in very high demand because I listed it, and within a day it started getting a ton of likes and sold within probably 48 hours. And I sold it once for, I believe, $90, and as soon as I sold it, I went to pack it up and I noticed that it had a hole in the shoulder and also had a little bit of a stain on it. I didn't feel comfortable sending it off to that person. I had to get my boyfriend's mom to help me sew this, so instead of trying to wait until I could fix it, I decided just to cancel the order, and then if I could fix it, I would relist it. I didn't want to have them sit there with an open order waiting and then have me cancel it 4 days later, and then they could have been looking for another one. And so the next time I listed it, it sold fast again, and it sold for $80, which earned me $64. And at first, this person left me 5 stars, and they said they were very happy with it. But then, right after Christmas, they ended up updating the review to 1 star, which was my first rating that wasn't 5 stars. So I was kind of disappointed about that. And what they said in the comment was that it smelled like bleach and it had clearly been bleached, which was true, but it looked way better once I did bleach it, because I bleached it to get that little stain out, and they were just mad that it had been bleached. It technically said on the care tag not to bleach it, but I just used a little bit of bleach and it did lighten the overall color. I think that she ended up opening a claim with Poshmark against me, but since the color was what was reflected in the photos and nothing else was wrong with the sweater, never ended up hearing anything about it, and I was able to keep my money. And she was threatening basically and messaging me all upset, but I just said, well, it was in perfect condition. I inspected it. It had been repaired. She didn't need to know that, and basically after she just kept insisting that she was gonna open a claim against me, I just kept my mouth shut. It worked out in my favor in the end. If you do see this sweater in any color, it's still actually available on websites like Nordstrom and Free People's website even too. So if you see this one, it's very high in demand and it retails, I believe, around $150. So I would definitely recommend picking up this item if you see it. I got it at the Goodwill bins for about $1.50, and it did need some cleaning up and some detailing, but in the end it was worth all that struggle because I still made good profit on that. Alright, I want to thank you guys so much for coming by, and if you guys like this video, please give me a thumbs up because it helps me out so much. I really do appreciate you guys all, and I hope to see you next time. Have a good day. Bye.